Hi, my name's Mark, and this is Mutation. It's a three-dimensional board game that's destined to become a classic. It has a very exotic game board and 8 movable pieces. 4 of them are black and 4 of them are white. The game is self-contained. The pieces are fixed to the board, so there's no pieces to lose, and that's nice. You can take it anywhere, you can play it anywhere. No table required. Car, beach, couch, it's all good. It was not so much invented as it was found floating around in space inside a space egg. It's called Mutation because the board mutates as the pieces move around it. And it is a mutation of other classic board games like tic-tac-toe, checkers, and chess. Plus, the game itself mutates. In fact, you can invent an infinite number of games to play with this little puppy. Kids can play this game. In fact, kids can be really good at this game. But old people can play this game too. Really smart old people like you. It can easily be played with 2, 3, and 4 people. It can be played in teams and large groups too. The basic two-person game is simple. It can be learned in a few seconds. Each player starts with their pieces as close together as possible. They alternate moving one space at a time until one player can get his pieces spread apart and equally spaced, and that shape is called a tetrahedron. A regular game can be won in as few as 6 moves, or it could go on for a while, but a typical game lasts about 2 to 5 minutes. How do you know when it's a tetrahedron? The answer is contained in the board itself. In fact, this board contains an entire language of colors and shapes. All 5 Platonic solids, or perfect solids, are represented by the colors and shapes on this game board. There is 1 dodecahedron, 1 icosahedron, 5 octahedrons, 5 cubes. Each cube represents a color on the board. There's red, yellow, blue, green, and purple. And each cube has 2 tetrahedrons. One of the tetrahedrons is represented by the circles. The other is represented by the triangles. That's how you know if you have a winning combination. If you have all the same color circles or all the same color triangles, that's a tetrahedron. A tetrahedron, that's a winner-winner chicken dinner. And oddly enough, there's another language on this board. It's called the genetic code. That's right, I'm not kidding. The entire genetic code is contained in the language of colors and shapes on this game. And that's pretty cool, don't you think? So this is a great little thing to look at, play with, and study. And the strange thing is it was invented 10 years ago. In fact, the molds to make this prototype I'm holding now were made 10 years ago. But you've never seen it before. You've never seen this game before now. Why not? The answer is Kickstarter. Kickstarter did not exist 10 years ago when this was made, and so it never went into production. It is only because of the unique nature of Kickstarter and the unique nature of the Kickstarter community that it's going into production now. In fact, not only is this the first production run of Mutation, there's a good chance it will be the only production run of Mutation ever. Regardless, after this production run, these molds will be retired. Why? It's too expensive. Quite frankly, this was poorly designed for the world in which we live today. It was designed at a time when plastic and labor costs were cheap, and that world no longer exists. The cost of making this today has more than tripled. I mean, goodness, there's over 200 little parts in here, and it contains more than a half a pound of plastic. So if this is to have any commercial life at all, it must be redesigned more economically for the world today. The only way we could possibly do that is if there's a big response here and now on Kickstarter. So won't you please help? If you could back us now, not only will you get a really cool game, but you'll help ensure a future life for Mutation. But whether there is or isn't a life for Mutation, one thing's for sure, this version of it will be a collectible. So in the immortal words of Homer Stokes, is you is, or is you ain't, a player. A Kickstarter player, a Mutation player. Thank you for your time and support. Which is it, smart or sexy? Pick one. Won't you help us? It's for the children. It's for puppies. Seduce it? Really? Like, are there really 200 pieces in this? Can you see my breasts? Are they big enough?